Here we go, folks. Shinsuke Nakamura, Nakamania. This whole thing with Shinsuke Nakamura, the gauntlet match, last week's SmackDown, the January 8th, 2020 episode, Nakamura versus Reigns potentially, Nakamura winning the Rumble maybe, Nakamura becoming world champion. So many things like up and about that are going around because of what happened on SmackDown last week. This video, what I want to do is give my honest, off-the-cuff opinion, because I know you guys, most of you who consistently watch me, appreciate that I don't come at this stuff with like a one side or the other perspective. I'm not one of these people who love Nakamura's New Japan work, who loves indie matches, and as a result of that, I'm just going to be brainwashed into doing a movement. I'm going to be brainwashed into going, oh, Nakamura needs to win at WrestleMania, Nakamura needs to win the Rumble, Nakamura this, Nakamania 2021, this is the only way forward. I'm not one of those people, but at the same time, I'm not one of these people who just hates Nakamura. I don't want Nakamura there, Nakamura is terrible, oh, I hate Nakamura. No. Okay, I want to give a fairly objective, neutral yet entertaining opinion on this whole thing, because it's an interesting concept. Because, look, I want to address this right off the bat before I get into anything else. Shinsuke Nakamura, 3 weeks ago, or well, by the time you watch this, it'll be like 4 weeks, he was on SmackDown in a singles match versus Otis. Otis is a guy who, after he won Money in the Bank in 2020, his career fell off a cliff, basically, as far as what he was doing, his push, all that kind of stuff. He lost Money in the Bank, and then he went into a tailspin. Shinsuke Nakamura lost to that walking GIF version of Otis, I believe it was December 18th, that SmackDown show. Shinsuke lost to Otis in 2 minutes. Everyone was crying out burial. Shinsuke Nakamura, the dude couldn't have looked worse. He just lost to a guy who had barely won a match in months. Shinsuke lost to that guy in 2 minutes with literally like a splash. So Shinsuke was there like a month ago. Now, Shinsuke was off TV for the Christmas Day show. He appeared backstage for the SmackDown on January 1st, where him and Cesaro watched Daniel Bryan hump Otis backstage. So that's what Shinsuke Nakamura was doing in the recent history prior to now. Now, Shinsuke Nakamura had a superstar-like showing in the gauntlet match. This gauntlet match performance, he eliminated King Corbin, he eliminated Rey Mysterio, and then he finally eliminated Daniel Bryan. So he has this superstar performance. He's in the gauntlet match for like 30-odd minutes. Eventually, Shinsuke Nakamura gets screwed over by the top star in wrestling, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. They walk down there, beat up Shinsuke Nakamura, put Adam Pearce over the top of him, and Adam Pearce pins Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I want to address this really quickly. I commented this on a bunch of people's YouTube videos, and I tweeted this out. Anyone who's saying that buried Shinsuke Nakamura, you're about as clueless as it gets. Shinsuke had 3 eliminations, looked like the biggest star in wrestling on January 8th, was just the biggest thing in the world in that match. Then he got screwed over by the top heel and the top star in wrestling. That's what we call heel work. That's what we call pro wrestling. Nakamura there was not buried. What was a burial job in that match was Sami Zayn losing in less than 10 seconds. So that's the gauntlet match addressed. Now, from here, what's going on? So, next week on SmackDown, or by the time you watch this, probably this week on SmackDown, we're getting Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jey Uso. So, what I deduce from this is that WWE clearly have a longer term plan with Shinsuke Nakamura. It's not just a 1 week WWE rush Shinsuke Nakamura out there for no reason and then forget about him. Clearly there's some thought going on with this. Now, here's my honest thoughts on this whole Nakamania thing. Look, I think having Shinsuke Nakamura win the Rumble now, this version, 2021, Shinsuke wins the Rumble, I don't think that's a good idea. I'll put it out there, because yes, Shinsuke Nakamura, because of that one gauntlet match, he has a lot of the IWC fan support. Wrestling Twitter loves him. Wrestling Twitter thinks Nakamania should, take over 2021. But at the end of the day, the harsh reality of it all is that Shinsuke Nakamura is a guy who ever since, I dare say, 2018, the program with AJ Styles, the WWE title, ever since then, Shinsuke, he's just been lacking, much of anything really, much direction, much purpose. He had a 7-month-long IC title run in 2019, but he defended the belt, 3 times? And then 2020, he was working in a stable, Cesaro and Sami Zayn. He was like a lackey to Sami Zayn. And then Shinsuke was in a tag team, Cesaro in a tag team division on SmackDown, which has literally 3 teams at max. So Shinsuke's had no direction. He loses to Otis in 2 minutes on the December 18th episode of SmackDown. Now he has one good gauntlet match performance, and people are crying out that this guy must win the Rumble match. I've seen this on Twitter. This is not hyperbole, not exaggeration. People are begging for Shinsuke Nakamura in January of 2021 to win the Royal Rumble, go into WrestleMania, and beat Roman Reigns to win the WWE Universal Championship. I think that part of it, him winning the Rumble and him winning at WrestleMania, I think that is an absolute reach. I think that's just not necessary at all. Here's another reason, okay? I'm going to give reasons for this. It's not just me saying, oh, I don't like Shinsuke, he shouldn't win. No. I'm giving reasons. Shinsuke Nakamura, in 2017, especially, when he came in the night after WrestleMania 33 to the main roster, when Shinsuke Nakamura came in, made his debut, that clip, just his entrance in general, the violinist playing, the Euro Smart crowd after Mania, going crazy, one of the loudest pops you'll hear of the modern era. When Shinsuke made his debut then, and that run he had on SmackDown in 2017, and even into 2018, Shinsuke was over, people cared, people were compelled, he was getting loud cheers, loud pops, everyone was unanimously singing his theme song, he was cool, he was genuinely relevant, okay? That was Shinsuke then, but the fact of the matter is that was what, 2.5, 3 years ago? Now Shinsuke Nakamura, he's been, as I said, in the IC title thing, kind of floating around with no direction. He was in a tag team on SmackDown that no one cared about. Now all of a sudden, after one gauntlet match, after 30 minutes of him eliminating Burger King Corbin, Rey Mysterio, and then Daniel Bryan, now all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura needs to be Universal Champion. You see like the knee-jerk component of this? You see the fact that there's no long-term build-up. There's no giving Shinsuke Nakamura consistent win after win after win. There's none of that. It's Shinsuke Nakamura did nothing of worthwhile, compelling note for a year, 2 years. Now, let's give him the Universal title, damn it. Nakamania 2021. Have Nakamura win the title at WrestleMania or Extreme Rules. Nakamura's the guy. That part of it I don't like. I don't like the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura went from being absolutely dead and buried irrelevant on the afternoon of January 8th, 2021. Then, by 11 p.m. at January 8th, 2021, people are demanding and crying online, Twitter and social media, Reddit Squared Circle, YouTube. People are crying and complaining that Shinsuke Nakamura needs to win the Rumble, main event WrestleMania, and beat Roman Reigns, the biggest star in wrestling. I don't like that. I think Shinsuke Nakamura, as a pay-per-view opponent for Roman Reigns, is fantastic. Roman Reigns, look at the work he did with Jey Uso. Jey Uso was a tag team guy, run-of-the-mill, yeah, okay, just a regular tag team dude. And then Roman Reigns went and had 2 5-star classics with Jey Uso, Clash of Champions and Hell in a Cell. I look at it somewhat similar to Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura as like an in-ring wrestler, especially back 5, 10, 15 years ago, just craps all over Jey Uso as far as like an in-ring wrestler. So Nakamura vs. Reigns could well be an even better match. But I look at it as Roman Reigns, he's the top star in wrestling. He can make anyone look great. At the Rumble, if they go ahead with Reigns versus Adam Pearce, which I'm interested to see that, because Adam Pearce, you don't know, that match could be bloody phenomenal. That could be the best match we see all year. We don't know. Is it unlikely? Obviously, but it's Adam Pearce. He could absolutely shock the world and have the best match ever. Or they could have Kevin Owens attack Adam Pearce and Kevin Owens takes Pearce's spot and we get Owens versus Reigns at the Rumble. Either or. But at the end of the day, Shinsuke Nakamura, in my opinion, seems like the perfect guy to have Roman Reigns fight at the February pay-per-view. It seems so perfectly done. Shinsuke Nakamura can beat Jey Uso on SmackDown. Shinsuke can either cut some promos. Cesaro and him can work together for a little bit. We can get Cesaro versus Roman Reigns on a SmackDown maybe in February. Then you get to the February pay-per-view. We get Shinsuke Nakamura challenging Roman Reigns. They have this amazing match. Eventually, Roman Reigns beats Shinsuke Nakamura. And that's what you have. Because by doing that, you take Shinsuke Nakamura from a guy who lost to Otis, the walking GIF on SmackDown in 2 minutes, take him from that to like a bona fide star again by having him have a great pay-per-view match with Roman Reigns. Does Shinsuke Nakamura need to win the Universal Championship right now? No, he doesn't. As of 2 days ago, he was at the absolute back of everyone's minds. Now, one good gauntlet match showing and everyone wants him to win the title. I don't agree with that. I think Shinsuke Nakamura, as a talent, especially 3-4 years ago, I think having him win the title would have been great. He should have won the title in 2018, in my opinion. Now, he needs more momentum. Look, he had one good gauntlet match. He needs to cut promos, in my personal opinion. Personally speaking, I can't just support Shinsuke Nakamura because he had a great match in New Japan versus AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10, and he had a great New Japan career, and he comes out as if he's having a weird seizure. Like, I need a bit more to get behind him, because all you've shown me, WWE, for the past year and a half, 2.5 years, is that this guy is he's just this random Japanese dude who can put on great matches, but doesn't really. He's just kind of going around the SmackDown mid-card. We need more just yet. So that's basically my opinion on this whole Nakamania thing. Also, I want to add this in. Kofi Mania, people are just going to ride off the back of that, because the WrestleMania moment was a huge success. I don't think, even if Nakamania somehow takes off, the moment would be anywhere near as good, because for one, there's no fans. Two, I just don't think Nakamura in 2021 having that kind of Kofi push would work. I personally don't think. Maybe it will, but personally speaking, as I said in this video, Roman Reigns, Shinsuke Nakamura, the February pay-per-view, that's where it's at. That's what you should be doing, I feel like. Having Reigns, Nakamura, Universal title, the February pay-per-view. Reigns beats Nakamura in a 20 to 25 minute amazing storytelling match, and then Nakamura can move on to the IC title picture after that. That's what I think they should do. I think Nakamania, having him win the Universal title at Mania, that's just a bit extreme. That's going from one extreme of losing to Otis in 2 minutes and being worthless to the complete other, and I don't think that's realistic or a good move at all. So that's been the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and drill. See ya.